Hello, this is the TradeSite U.S. Stocks Futures and Forex Market Preview for the week beginning Sunday, the 12th of March, 2023, ending Friday the 17th. We are now on the June futures contracts. We rolled Thursday to Friday, which caused a little bit of the slowdown, obviously, that we saw on those days. Usually what happens on the quarterly contract roll. And this week is options expiration on Friday, and it's a triple expiration. Wednesday should be options unraveling. We'll see how that goes, but obviously, we don't expect Friday to be super exciting with the expiration. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart, and didn't really go anywhere this week. Once again, despite the fact that we did have this issue with the Silicon Valley Bank going under, and there's some concerns about whether that's going to play a bigger role in the global economy if there's no bailout. There's a lot of jobs in the tech sector at startups that hinge on money from that bank. The current administration doesn't seem to think it's going to be that big of an issue, but we will see what happens and whether or not it plays out into bigger problems. Let's look at the pound dollar. Had dipped and then came back up a little bit. Close. I mean, this forex stuff has just been so dead. I mean, if you look at this, it's 300 pips over a month and a half. That's just horrific. The euro dollar, same thing. That's not even 200 pips over the last month range. Pound yen, not very exciting either. All right, on to the stock stuff. So we're now on the June contracts. This is it right here, and you can see the daily chart of this. Dipped on Friday with that bank news, and Thursday as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a gap down on Monday, but I don't know until we actually see it. Who knows? We still have. I've been saying for a while. I still think there's a plunge in the market available. It hasn't happened yet. But right now we're kind of just mid-range for the last year. Nothing exciting. Here's the S&P. Again, not much here. Not much to look at from a technical perspective. No real breakout or breakdown. No new secret Comer exhaustion counts. I mean, just nothing. It's pretty boring. NASDAQ 100 also down on Friday, obviously. Russell 2000 took a bigger hit 2 days in a row. This is the one that's concerning. But again, these are the startups, right? Russell 2000 is a lot of smaller cap stocks. So this is, if the bank's going to affect anything, it'll be the Russell. Crude oil still sitting, like, listen, again, so flat. There's not a lot of stuff that's moved a lot in the last 3 or 4 months. Crude oil sitting where it was back at Thanksgiving. It's pretty bad. Gold did tick up a bit on Friday. Here's a Bitcoin, also took a hit. Now currently sitting at 20,630 or so. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, gaps up on Friday, closes higher. This is related to the bank probably. Rates are, market bonds up, rates down, right? And a lot of people are saying that if this turns into a bigger contagion with the SIVB bank, that they might have to actually cut rates, which is going to be interesting because we still have an inflation problem. So the Fed might get put in a pickle here, but we will see what happens. The VIX spiked on the news, got all the way up to above 28 at one point in time, close to 2480. Not a big deal. Advanced decline ratio on the New York was negative, but not too bad. Again, the market's really held pretty well considering the news. We'll see if it turns into a bigger issue. Trend closes at 1.41. That puts the 10-day at 1.25. That's above the 0.85 by a lot. So there's no sell signal on the broad market there. Here's the intra-week action on the ES. And again, Monday kind of gapped up and just closed flat. Tuesday kind of gapped down, drifted lower. Wednesday was as flat. I mean, as flat as could be. Literally as flat as could be. Thursday we dipped, and Friday we gapped down. Tried to fill it, well, we did fill the gap, and then closed a little bit lower, but nothing catastrophic considering the news that was out there. Here's the NASDAQ 100. Same general story there. In terms of some of our key tech stocks, you can see Apple was obviously down. Everything was just down a little. It wasn't too bad, but everything was just down a little. Amazon down a little. Meta down a little. Google down a little. Goldman Sachs took a bigger hit here. The banks kind of got hurt. Netflix down a little. No signals here. Tesla down a little. The 13 sell signal on Tesla right on the money. It's down 25 points since that sell signal up at 210. More than that, actually, 35 points. So that one was right. NVIDIA down a little bit. It's been holding near the highs. And Zoom down a little bit. Actually gapped down and came back up a little bit. So it is what it is there. In terms of economic data coming out this week, let's just run through it real quick. So you've got the Sorry, I'm on the wrong week. Here we go. But by the way, we did have the time change this weekend as well. So if you're not in the U.S., keep in mind the markets are opening an hour different now. Not much here on Monday. No data out of the U.S. CPI on Tuesday. That's obviously a big one right now with all the inflationary stuff. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. We also have the unemployment rate out of the UK going into Tuesday. But the CPI, that's a big one. So we'd be half size on Forex Monday night going into Tuesday, and also expect a gap in the markets probably on that news because that's all anybody watches right now. China's got some numbers out, not a big deal. Wednesday, we've got here in the U.S. PPI retail sales and the Empire State Manufacturing Index at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Business inventory is at 10, along with the Housing Market Index number at 10. Crude oil inventories at 10:30. Tick long-term purchases at the close of the market. New Zealand's got their GDP coming out. We got unemployment out of Australia. Already into Thursday. Now keep in mind, again, if there's an options unraveling, it's probably Wednesday, maybe Thursday. That'll be the bigger move. Friday, the expiration probably would not be that interesting. I would almost take the day off, but we'll see what happens. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index at 8:30 a.m. on Thursday, along with housing starts, building permits, our weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers, and import-export prices. Natty gas at 10:30, and then on Friday, capacity utilization, industrial production at 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time. University of Michigan sentiment at 10, along with the CB leading index. So that's it for the week. It's actually a shorter list for the whole world, so we'll see what happens. Charts, as usual, brought to you by NinjaTrader. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.